Ever wished you had like a personal guide,
Mhm.
to help you navigate those big life questions? What if that guide was AI? Yeah, AI, we're going to dive into using AI for spiritual growth.
Interesting combination.
Right. It might seem a little out there at first, but Deepak Chopra actually sees AI as a powerful tool for this kind of growth.
Yeah, Chopra, right. In his book, Digital Dharma, How AI Can Elevate Spiritual Intelligence and Personal Well-Being, he explores this whole idea of AI being more than just a tech tool. He sees it more as a potential partner in our journey of self-discovery and, spiritual evolution.
So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack Chopra's ideas and look at how AI can help you discover and live your personal dharma, that unique path that you're meant to be on. He even gets into some really specific ways AI can help with things like personalized meditations or how to overcome obstacles and even navigating relationships, which I know is something that a lot of people struggle with.
It's definitely a fascinating concept, especially coming from someone like Chopra, who's really been exploring the depths of human consciousness for decades. It definitely challenges our preconceived notions about AI and spirituality, both.
It does. It really does. Now, before we get too deep into the AI side of things, let's just kind of define dharma first.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just a religious term. It's about finding your purpose, that sweet spot
Yeah.
where you feel truly fulfilled.
Yeah.
It's not always about chasing those big wishes because, well, as Chopra points out, wishes are where we think we'll be happy, but real life is where happiness, gets complicated.
Definitely. He's got a point there. We've all chased things thinking that they would make us happy, only to find that, well, they didn't quite deliver.
Totally. Remember that time I thought learning to fly a plane would be like ultimate bliss? Well, let's just say my dharma doesn't involve hurtling through the air at 30,000 feet.
I see.
But that's part of the journey, right?
Hmm.
Figuring out what truly aligns with our inner selves.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that Chopra actually highlights how even AI seems to grasp this whole concept of Dharma. He asked an AI chatbot Gemini specifically to define Dharma from a Buddhist perspective.
Oh, that's interesting. What did it come up with?
Well, Gemini explained that in Buddhism, Dharma actually has three layers to it. So first, it's about the Buddhist teachings, like a guide to move away from suffering and towards a happier life. And then the second layer gets into, those universal truths that everything's impermanent and everything's interconnected.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
but
makes sense. What about the third layer?
the third layer, Gemini just said everything.
Everything.
It really highlighted how the AI was able to grasp the depth and eloquence of a concept like Dharma.
Wow. That's pretty profound for a chatbot. So we've got this idea of dharma, our unique path to fulfillment. But how does AI help us find and live it? Is it really like having a digital guru, as Chopra suggests?
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is.
And it's natural to be a little skeptical. I mean, can AI really replace a human guide on a spiritual journey?
That's what I was thinking. It seems like a bit of a stretch to think that AI could understand those nuances of human experience, like our emotions and aspirations.
I think Chopra's point is not that AI is going to replace human connection or those traditional spiritual practices. It's more about AI being a tool, a powerful tool to enhance these practices and make them, more accessible. Think of it like this. A traditional guru is meant to be a dispeller of darkness, helping you access your own inner wisdom. So in our modern world where skepticism and information overload are, everywhere, AI could offer a different kind of guidance, one that feels, I guess, less dogmatic and more tailored to our, individual needs.
So instead of blindly following someone else's path, AI can kind of help us create our own unique spiritual journey.
Exactly. Chopra suggests that AI could offer things like daily affirmations tailored to your goals, like personalized meditations that, target your specific needs, even visualizations to help you see your aspirations more clearly. It's like having access to a huge library of spiritual knowledge and practices, all curated just for you.
That's a really compelling idea. But how does this play out in practice? What are some concrete examples of how AI can help us live our Dharma? Guys, so we're starting to see how AI can be kind of like a guide in this journey of self-discovery. But what about actually putting Dharma into action? How does that play out in everyday life?
Well, Chopra suggests that AI can actually help bridge that gap between contemplation and action. For instance, he talks about using AI-powered journaling to make that self-reflection more active.
That's interesting. I've tried those generic journaling prompts before, and they often feel like a bit surface level. How is AI different?
Well, instead of just reacting to preset prompts, you can have a dialogue with the AI. So let's say you're working on being more patient, with your interactions with others. You could ask the AI something like, what are some practical ways to, cultivate more patience in my daily life? And the AI might suggest things like mindfulness exercises or, breathing
Hmm.
techniques. And then you can actually journal about how you're applying those suggestions.
So it becomes a more interactive process. It's almost like having a coach, like a personal coach for your inner growth that's there to offer insights and guidance whenever you need it.
Exactly. And to kind of bring this whole concept of dharma, down to earth, Chopra uses a really interesting example in his book. He asks the AI for a modern Cinderella story outline, and then he throws in a twist. Take out the glass slipper, make the prince a womanizer, and then tell me what Cinderella does next.
Okay, that definitely got my attention. That sounds like he's trying to highlight that we all have the power to create our own stories, even when things don't go as planned.
That's exactly right. It's a metaphor for how we can use our dharma to navigate those unexpected twists and turns that, life throws at us. Remember how we were talking about Gemini's 7 ways to live your dharma?
Yeah.
Things like self-discovery or aligning your actions with values, expressing your unique talents, serving your community, trusting your intuition. They're all about actively shaping your story rather than just passively reacting to it.
So instead of waiting for a fairy godmother or uh, Prince Charming to come along,
Right.
we can take charge and create our own happy ending, so to speak. But let's break this down even further. What are some concrete examples of how those 7 ways can actually be like supported by AI in our daily lives?
Well, let's take that first one, self-discovery and, introspection. Imagine you're feeling kind of lost, like you're not quite sure what path to take. So you could ask the AI something like, what are some signs that I might not be living in alignment with my dharma? And the AI could then, analyze your input, offer insights based on those common patterns or themes that come up.
That could be really valuable. It's like having a mirror held up to you, helping you see those blind spots that you might be missing.
Exactly. And let's say you discover that, one of your core values is creativity, but your current job is just, well, it's stifling. You could ask the AI something like, what are some careers that would allow me to express my creative side? And it could even suggest, possibilities that you hadn't even considered.
Oh, I love that. It's like having a personalized career counselor right there in your pocket. It opens up so many possibilities.
It does, and it's not just about career choices. Let's say you're struggling to, make time for those activities that bring you joy, like painting or, writing. You could ask the AI, how can I incorporate more creativity into my daily routine? And it might even suggest, some time management techniques or creative prompts to kind of get you started. Maybe even connect you with those online communities that, support your interests.
This is really starting to paint a practical picture of how AI can be integrated into our lives, not just as a source of information, but as a partner in our growth.
Right. And that brings us to that next point on Gemini's list, aligning our actions with those values that we've identified. This is where things get, real. We might have a clear understanding of our values, but actually living in accordance with them, well, that's a whole other challenge.
Oh, yeah, I think we can all relate to that. It's easy to get caught up in like the busyness of life and then, lose sight of what truly matters. So how does AI help us stay on track with those values?
Well, imagine you're faced with a decision and it feels, kind of ethically tricky. You could ask the AI to analyze the situation from those different perspectives, highlighting the potential consequences of each choice. So, almost like a sounding board.
So it becomes like a sounding board,
Okay,
helping us make choices that feel more authentic to who we are.
that's right. And remember that example about, wanting to be more patient? Well, you could journal about your experiences and then ask the AI for feedback. Something like, am I making progress toward my goal? Or, are there other approaches I could try? It's about using technology to create a feedback loop that actually supports your, personal growth.
It's like having an accountability partner who's always available, offering encouragement and guidance without any judgment.
Exactly. And let's not forget the power of AI to connect us with others. Remember Gemini's suggestion about serving your community and making, a positive impact? AI can actually help us find opportunities to do just that.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed by like the vastness of the world's problems,
Hmm.
we can use AI to zoom in on the things that we care about and find ways to contribute in like really meaningful ways.
Exactly. You could ask the AI something like, what are some local organizations that are addressing, insert issue you care about? Or what are some ways I can use my skills to support the cause you're passionate about?
It's like having a personalized guide to making a difference.
Mm.
connecting you with those resources and opportunities that are aligned with your passions and your dharma.
That's a great way to put it. And AI can also help us access those ancient wisdom traditions that have been guiding people for centuries. So imagine you're curious about mindfulness, but you don't know where to start.
Well, you could ask the AI to recommend, guided meditations. And you can get those from different traditions like Buddhist or yogic, even secular mindfulness practices.
So you don't have to feel intimidated by like all the vastness of those different spiritual teachings. You can use AI to find the practices that actually resonate with you personally.
Exactly. And speaking of personalization, let's talk about those AI-powered meditation apps that we mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah. Those I've heard about those. I'm really curious to know how they work. Well, a lot of these apps are using really sophisticated algorithms to, tailor your meditation experience to your needs. So you might input, some information about your goals, things like reducing stress or maybe improving focus. And the app will then create like personalized meditations with specific themes and music and guidance.
So you don't have to be a meditation expert to reap the benefits. It's like having a meditation teacher who customizes each session just for you.
Precisely. And some apps will even track your progress over time and offer you insights into how your practice is, evolving.
Yeah.
It's about making meditation more accessible and empowering you to create a practice that fits, your lifestyle.
I'm really starting to see how all these different pieces fit together. So AI isn't just about providing information, it's about creating a supportive environment that helps us cultivate that self-awareness, make those conscious choices, and ultimately live in alignment with, our dharma.
And let's not forget about the importance of trusting your intuition. You know, that inner compass that's guiding us along this journey. So AI can provide those valuable insights, but, ultimately we have to make the choices that feel right for us.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's about finding that balance between the, external guidance and our own inner wisdom. So
Mhm.
how do we cultivate that inner knowing, that ability to really listen to our own voice?
That's where those practices like meditation and self-reflection really come in. So AI can support those practices, but it's really up to us to make the time and space for them.
And maybe AI can even help us become more attuned to those, like subtle whispers of intuition. Maybe we could ask it to analyze our journal entries and look for patterns that reveal our deeper motivations or values.
That's a really fascinating idea. It's almost like we're using technology to kind of unlock that wisdom that's already within us.
I love that. And before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to go back to Chopra's prompt about the modern Cinderella. He asks, what does Cinderella do next after the glass slipper is gone? And the prince, well, it turns out, is a womanizer. So it seems like he's challenging us to think about how we'd use our dharma to navigate those unexpected twists and turns of life.
Exactly. It's a reminder that our Dharma isn't about following a script that's already been written for us. It's about using those inner resources that we have to create our own fulfilling stories, even when things don't go according to plan.
So how would you answer that question? What does Cinderella do next?
Well, that's the beauty of it. There is no right answer. It's about using our imagination and our creativity and our dharma to envision a new possibility for ourselves. And
Hmm.
maybe AI could even help us, brainstorm some unexpected and empowering options along the way.
That's a powerful reminder that we're not like passive characters in our own lives. We have the ability to write our own stories, even when we're faced with, setbacks and disappointments.
Absolutely. And it seems like Chopra's suggesting that AI could actually be a valuable tool in that process. Of rewriting those narratives. It can help us explore those different perspectives or challenge those beliefs that are holding us back and ultimately create a more empowering and, fulfilling story for ourselves.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into digital dharma,
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, like, where this leads you. What's your, like, biggest takeaway from this whole exploration of AI and spirituality?
I think what really struck me was how Chopra reframes our understanding of both AI and spirituality. He's not saying, replace human connection or traditional practices with algorithms and chatbots. It's more about seeing AI as this like complementary tool, a way to enhance and, personalize our spiritual journeys.
Like AI is giving us a new lens to view ourselves and the world around us.
Exactly. And it's a lens that can reveal those hidden patterns or challenge assumptions, open up new possibilities. Like we can use AI to explore those ancient wisdom traditions that might have felt, inaccessible before, or tailor our meditation practices to our specific needs.
Yeah.
It's really about empowering us to take, ownership of our spiritual growth in a way that feels authentic and relevant to like our modern lives.
Almost like AI is helping us bridge that gap between like the ancient and the modern, the inner and the outer, the
Yeah.
personal and the universal.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. And ultimately, it's about recognizing that, our spiritual journey is not a solitary thing. We can draw wisdom and support from a variety of sources, human guides, ancient teachings, and now, even artificial intelligence.
That brings us back to that question we posed earlier.
Mm.
If AI could help you get unstuck in one area of your life, what would it be?
Hmm.
That's a question worth thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And, once you've identified that area, what's the first question you'd ask the AI? So, I encourage everyone to take some time to reflect on those questions. What part of your life feels like it could, benefit from a little AI-powered insight? What belief are you holding on to that you could challenge with, a little help from a digital guide?
Yeah.
And remember, you are the author of your own story. AI can be a really valuable tool, but it's ultimately up to you to use that tool with intention and creativity.
Exactly.
So as we close out this episode, we want to leave you with a sense of, possibility and empowerment. Don't be afraid to explore the potential of AI to support your personal and, spiritual growth. You might be surprised by the insights and guidance that you uncover along the way.
And remember, your Dharma is not like a fixed destination. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery and, evolution.
Right.
Embrace those twists and turns, the challenges and the triumphs. Never stop seeking those moments of, alignment and fulfillment.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of digital Dharma. We hope you gained some valuable insights and inspiration to apply to your own life.
And until next time, may you find peace, purpose, and a little bit of that AI-powered magic along the way.